the doggy did the claw machine. Are you ready? Yeah!
Okay everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel. Today we are unboxing our Ricoma machine. Y'all gotta push it all the way to the back. Just put it right there.
You gotta clear the back door out. That'll be right there. Whew.
Alright, appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thanks for helping me bring it back here.
Yeah, that's no problem.
Okay, Joe Perez, what are we doing today? What are we doing?
We're gonna try to figure out if we can get this in here with these racks here.
Because there's a little bit of space and it barely fit the
I
last
don't
time.
want to move all these racks, but if we have to, then we have to. But until then, we're gonna uncrate this thing. So you guys check this out. We're gonna uncrate it. Comes with these little metal pins on here. We're gonna get a hammer and we're just going to pop these off,
Be careful because those things fly.
just like this. So
Jay Sean, are you excited for the new machine?
Yeah!
Are you so excited?
Yeah!
Are you gonna be the new embroidery person?
Yeah!
Oh my goodness. Squat right here, sit right here.
Oh, look at those three.
Wow.
Wow! That is amazing!
You still look there.
Put them over here. Put them right here on the floor.
got it?
Yep.
All right, what are we gonna do next?
We are going to
Take off all the.
take everything out of it to make it lighter.
How do you feel? Are you excited?
Yep.
Yep.
And how. Ricoma.
This piece right here.
So does all this stuff just come with it since you're, buying such a big thing?
Good job, Jay Sean. Take it out.
I want to see where the actual screens are.
It's right here.
One screen for the whole thing?
What do we got in here?
Trained all year for this.
Watch out, Jay. Watch out.
Oh, this is gonna be.
Watch your feet.
Ready?
One.
Going on?
1, 2, 3.
Boom. All right.
3, 2, 1.
Whenever I do this, here's this one over here. You gotta be the big ones. Okay.
Yeah.
I take these off because whenever it comes to rolling this off, these would have hit the ground before the wheels and it would have been really hard. I learned that with the 6 heads, so I took them off this time. And now we're gonna jack this back up. And put all these back underneath. Okay, so that was interesting. We didn't use a forklift to get it off. We just went ahead and we figured it out, right? So we figured it out. We got it off of that pallet. I take those canters off so that we don't have an issue like I did with the 6 head, taking it off the trailer. And whenever we were lowering it, those canters were hitting the floor and it wasn't letting us move it. So then we had to get a jack to jack it up to actually move it. So by me removing those, whenever it came to sliding it off of that pallet, we had no issue with it because there was nothing in the way and it could just roll off of there pretty easy. So I thought, right? So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take off this cover so we could check out this, so we could check this machine out. I got the 15 needles. This is my first 20 needle. Plus it's got that new marquee screen, so I'm excited to check that out and get this thing going. So let's do that. In this package here. If you're getting one of the other machines, you're going to get something like this. You're not going to get as much of this because what they do is they give you enough to fill the machine one time. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to open up one of these. We're not going to open all of them, but we do have two different types of threads. So we're going to open up this one so I can show you what we got in here. So in here, you're going to get one that says poly neon. So we'll open up this one. You're going to get a bunch of colors. These are your poly neon threads, which is a polyester thread, is the thread that I prefer to use. So everybody has their preference on what type of thread they like to use. I prefer the poly neon over the classic. And then you're going to see you're also getting the classic thread. If I have it, I will use it, but I don't buy it. That's just my preference. So this is the classic thread. It looks exactly the same, but this is a cotton base thread. So whenever you're embroidering, whatever you're doing, this one tends to shred, or you'll have more thread breaks with this one. My preference. I'm just saying from my experience doing embroidery, I got a little bit of it. So I'm just letting you guys know I prefer the poly neon over the classic. Poly neon will not bleach. Classic will bleach. So just to let you know. All right, so you're gonna get all of this in your package. Thread, more thread. You got some bobbins that come with it. Some more right here. Some more right here. Some more right here. So just know you will get a complete set to fill your machine. All right, so let's get this out of the way, and we're gonna open up one of these boxes that came with it. We're gonna start off with the little auto hats. That's what they send on the machine. As you saw whenever we were unboxing it, uncrating it, one of my employees took off a hat for every head that you have. So if you have a 6 head or a 10 head or an 8 head or a 12 head, they're going to send you one of these with every head you have. So on this one we have 3. We got 3 caps. So he already took this one off and was sporting it. But they do send you a couple auto hats inside of here. So you'll have an unstructured hat, which is this, unstructured. You're gonna have an auto structured hat. And then you're gonna have a flat bill hat also. This one's pretty cool. But yeah, so you'll have this one also, ball cap, flat bill. And then they're also gonna send you, we're in 2024, but the 2023 auto book. So if you are interested in getting some auto caps from AutoCap, they're gonna send you a couple samples in your kit, and this comes with all the machines. Whenever I got the 6 head, it came with some auto caps and the single heads. And then we're gonna open up this. This is just like a little starter pack from Madeira that Ricoma sends out. And this will give you everything. Not everything, but a bunch of different things that you will need to start embroidering. So it's going to give you a supply kit. $15 off when you spend $100. I will use this because I buy a lot of stuff from Madeira. So I will use this code. I will use it before this video comes out. So don't try to use this code right here because it would already be used. It's a one-time code, so don't try to use it. So you're gonna get some little cheat sheets, as I would say, of the different backings and what you would use them for. So this is good for people that are just starting out, so if you have questions on it. Also, this is a needle guide. I didn't get this with the first one, but this is good to know. People always ask, how do you know what the front of the blade looks like, the front of the needle to the back of the needle? So here it is. They break it down for you now. So you got all that. Show you some stuff there. You got that. What is that? Easy backing guide, which is good to have. So you got that. You got this one right here. They're gonna send you one of their cards with all the colors that they sell. This is their poly neon thread. You see there, it's talking about the poly neon, the one I like. And then also inside this box, you're gonna get some sample backing. So you got a Cap Supreme 3-ounce, some water soluble stuff, Aqua Supreme 20 micron stuff, some easy backing and topping. The easy backing and topping. What is this one? This one is a 2.5 ounce easy cut. This is a tearaway, 1.5 ounces. And then they're gonna, and inside of this starter kit, they're also sending you some more thread. So this is poly neon, and here's some more poly neon. So inside of that starter kit, you got some poly neon. And then last in this, you're also gonna have some poly neon 60 weight thread. So the majority of the thread you're gonna use is gonna have the number 40 on it, which is a 40 weight thread. And then you're gonna have this 60 weight thread. They say to use it whenever you're doing little letters like that because the thread is thinner. So just so you know, if you don't know, now you know. 60 weight thread for smaller letters. So now we're gonna open up these boxes. This one says number 1, this one says number 2. So we'll open them as if it was number 1 and number 2. So number 1, what comes in number 1? Toolbox. We'll go through that. Your cap hooping station and your cap hooping rings, your cap frames to hoop caps also inside of there. The most important part, your plug. And then down here below you have all your brackets for your flats. So we'll open up this stuff too. And that's it for box number 1. Box number 2. It's gonna be your hoops. You're gonna get a ton of hoops when you order this. Yeah. Hoops. I'm just gonna show you the inside of this. We're not gonna go through all of these, but if you look, you're gonna get a ton of hoops whenever you order your machine. And I'll show you this one since these are the big ones. It's pretty wide too right there. That's pretty wide. That's a 14 by 21. That's pretty big. So you're gonna get every hoop that you got, you're gonna get 6 of them. Being that this is a 3-head, you get 6 so that if you're doing a big order, you can hoop 3, embroider them, set up the next 3 so that whenever those 3 finish, you're locked and loaded for your next 3. And then you can just continuously keep going like that. So just know every hoop that you have that inside of this, you're going to get a whole bunch of, from this big all the way to this big. This is the biggest one that you're going to get. So the next thing we're going to do is go through the toolbox. First, open this up. You got a couple spare parts that go up on top where your thread goes. A bag of just some random screws and bolts. some presser foots. You got a presser foot in here in case you bend one of them. You got some arms, which are these right here, which make the thread go up and down whenever you're embroidering. So we got 2 of those, 2 presser foots and 2 of those. We got some bobbins. I guess if you want to make your own bobbins. We got 3 extra bobbin cases in here. So there's 3 on the machine, and then there's 3 in here. Not sure. You got a solenoid here. Not sure what this is for. I got one in each of my toolboxes and never had to use them so far, so that's a good thing. A couple other pieces here. I'm not too sure what these are, but I've never had to use them. You got a set of 7511 needles in here. Right here you got some oiling pads that go inside of it. We'll get into that later. Where these go, how to replace them. And then some bushings that also are inside of that also. Again, I don't know what all this stuff is because I've never had to use it, which is a good thing. Got some springs in here. A couple springs. A little brush. And then if you have trouble threading, if you have trouble putting the needle on, you got something that can help you out. And then most importantly, you have your thumb drive. On this thumb drive, you're gonna have a bunch of files on here that Ricoma will use whenever they do your training. Also on here, you're gonna have your eye test. So I had some people ask me on my tension video where I got the eye test from. You're gonna have it on this thumb drive whenever you get your machine. So keep this right here. Don't ever delete what's on here because you're gonna need that. You're not going to need that, but if you ever need to refer back to it, you always have it. So remove this piece. Underneath it you have this, which is a guard that goes somewhere back there behind the needles. I haven't had to use it, so we're gonna leave that there. Some more screwdrivers. Got some cutters, some scissors in here. So we got flat tip screwdriver, another one. So you're going to get two of the flat tip screwdrivers, 2 of the Phillip head screwdrivers. You're going to get a 12-14 wrench. You're going to get this one. This is the one that you used for your canters down below to level out your machine. 2 more big ones. These are new. I haven't seen these before, so we'll figure out what those are for. And then you're going to get a little one. This is a 810. You're going to get that all inside of your toolbox. Some needle nose. Your elbow screwdriver, which helps you put on and take off your different cap hoops that are on the machine. And then here's your scissors, your first pair of scissors you're going to get. Nice little snippers there. These are good to have. A bottle of oil. And then your oiler where you're going to put your oil in here. And then you got your hose on the inside so that you're able to oil your machine. A set of hex keys or Allen keys. You have this also. And then last, if your thread ever completely runs out, you're going to have this metal rod right here. Do not throw this away because this will help you out whenever it comes to threading the machine. So that's everything that comes inside of your toolbox. Next thing we're going to go is we're going to go over this right here. This is your arms for embroidering flats. So there should be 6 of them. What you want to do is whenever you get these, you want to inspect this gap right here. So you want to make sure this gap is straight. If it's bent, you're going to have issues. So look at each one individually. Make sure that they are all straight and they look the same. If there is something wrong or one of them is bent, let your salesperson know right away so that it doesn't come back to you that you accidentally did something. So I like to put them all side by side so I can look at them and make sure the gap in between each one of those is the same. And as long as they're the same, you are good to go. So here's another one of these. This is how you're gonna hoop your caps. This is my fourth one. I got a couple of these, I don't even know. But it's good to have because if something ever happens to one of them, I always have backups. So this is how you're gonna hoop your caps. You're gonna take this, you're gonna have this clamp right here. You're gonna clamp it somewhere, secure it. You can go ahead and grab this piece, put it on here, and lock it into place. So you're gonna have 6 of these also. So here's one of them. Number 2. And number 3. And then again, we have 3 of them that are on the machine. And then the power cord. Just check your power cord. You wanna make sure with your power cord that you wanna make sure that this part right here is good. There's nothing obstructing anything from going in there. And then you want to make sure all your prongs are straight. Everything on this one looks good. So we are good to go. We'll get this thing plugged up, turn it on, and then we'll look at some different things. The first thing we want to do before we turn this thing on is we want to look at the machine and make sure that there's nothing wrong with it. You want to look at every single thing that's on here, looking to see that if something's bent, so that you can let your rep know that there's an issue with the machine. So before the tech comes out, whenever you buy a multi-head machine, the tech will come out and do your training. Before they come out, you can let them know that there's an issue or something's bent, so that whenever they come out, if the part is not in that toolbox, they can bring it out here and they can fix it for you on the spot, right? So let's go ahead and look at that before we turn this on. So we're gonna start up here at the top and we're gonna look at your tension knobs on top. So you wanna make sure all of your tension knobs are straight across all of your machine. And if you look at this one right here, you can see that it is bent crooked. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to adjust this myself. Yeah, and that fixed it. It was just on there. I don't know what it was, but it was just, if you looked at, I zoomed into it so that you guys could see it and how crooked it was. All I did was just give it a little twist and it fixed it. So you want to make sure that all of these, all the way across every single head, is nice and straight. The next thing you want to do is you want to make sure that underneath all of these knobs that you have a spring underneath all of them. So take a look from here all the way across and make sure you have springs all the way across. You're going to have these little slinky things here. These are just plastic. It's not a tube. It's an actual, I don't know what you call it. I call it a slinky, but it's actually like that. You just want to make sure that you have one all the way across the board. If not, check your kit. You should have one of these in here. Just throw it on there. Or if you're not comfortable doing it, just wait for the tech to show up and they'll do it for you. The next thing I'm looking at is, so this is new to me because the 1501 and the 6 head have a thing that comes across here that looks like this. Has this right here that keeps your thread nice and straight as you start to embroider. But when we look at this one, it's got a felt back here, so I guess we just want to make sure that this felt is here all the way across there. We want to make sure that it's there. And then next thing we want to do, we have another set of tension knobs right here. We want to check these tension knobs. We want to again make sure that these are nice and straight. And we're going to look at these wheels individually. You can give them a little turn if you want to, just not much. Just give them a little turn, make sure they all turn freely and they're not bunched up or there's no grinding going on. You just want to check all of them. Make sure they're all good. So you want to do that for all of them again, across the board. And then you want to come to these tension knobs here. So I'm used to having the ones on the top and then these right here for the individual needles. But now we have these right here. So I'm going to have to figure out what the difference between these are. And we'll get into that later on. Once I find out about it, I'll let you guys know more information on why you got, I know why these are here, but why these are here. So we got these, and then these. So now we're going to look at these right here, which is going to control, is for each individual needle. They all are for each individual needles, but this is the one that's coming straight down. You want to make sure that your knobs are straight again. Nothing's bent. You can give it a little turn. If you're new to embroidery, I wouldn't mess with it too much. If we look at this one right here, you can see it's not straight. It's bent down. So I want to look at that. You know what I mean? That's something that you have to look at whenever you're doing this. You want to make sure everything is nice and straight, because if it's not, you're going to run into issues. So you want to make sure that they're all nice and straight. I'm just going to show you this first head. I'm not going to get into all of them, but just know whatever you're doing on this head, you want to make sure that you do it on every single head, because you want to make sure everything is nice, straight, and ready to go so that you don't run into any issues when you start. This one has this little lever right here that's going to be going with the tension. I'm not sure how this one works yet, but we're going to check these, just make sure that they're all there. That's a really fine piece of metal there. You want to make sure those are good, because if any of those are bent, you might run into issues also. So check that, make sure that's right. And then we're going to come down a little bit farther. We're going to check out this plate right here. We're going to check this whole plate out. We're going to make sure none of this is bent. Everything on this one looks good. That piece that was in that bag that I was telling you about, the presser foot, and the other piece, that's this little knob, this little piece right here. So you want to make sure that none of these are bent. I've gotten a machine before where one of them was bent. It wasn't an issue. Whenever the tech came out, they simply came, took this apart, fixed it, and we're good to go. So don't freak out if you find something that is bent, because the tech, when they come out, they're actually going to do another check before they do anything with it, right? So, and then the last thing I want to do is I want to show you the new display for the machine. Here it is. So this is the new display for the machine. It's an actual tablet now, so all the other ones are touchscreen also, but there's just going to be so much more that you could do from this screen that you can't do on the other ones. So we're not going to get this powered on tonight. I'm going to get out of here. It's already late. I wanted to finish shooting as much of this as I could, but tomorrow we're going to come in here, we're going to remove those clamps, we're going to turn this thing on, and then I'm going to show you some other things that you want to look for whenever you turn this on. All right, so I'm going to get out of here, but we'll be back really quick with editing. You're not even going to miss a beat, but we will be back and we will get this thing turned on. All right, so I will see you guys in about 1 second. All right, so I'm back next day. Like I told you, power of editing. You didn't miss a beat. I've already taken off these brackets, and this is something that I don't recommend that you do. I would prefer you to wait until the tech comes in for your training so that they could take this off and make sure everything's right before you get started using it. Being that I have a couple of these machines already, I already know the process, so I went ahead and did it. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to power this thing on and make sure all the lights work and the screen is not cracked, as we talked about earlier. Nothing special about it. Take your power cord, plug it into the machine. Plug your machine into a surge protector that is then plugged into the outlet of a wall. Do not plug your machine directly into a wall, because if there is a surge, you could have an issue with your machine. So make sure you plug it into a surge protector. Let's go ahead and power this thing on. All right, so just like the single heads, you have the power button right here. We have our plug-in plugged into the wall. We're going to simply go ahead and hit the switch. And then the last thing when powering this thing up, check out this new 10-inch display. All right, so here is the new display. I just want to show you guys this. This thing is awesome. It's a lot different from the ones that we're using right now. But the most important part is do not use the machine, because if you mess anything up before the tech comes out, you will void your warranty. So the main thing you want to do right now is you just want to make sure that there's nothing wrong with the display. You want to look at it, maybe touch a couple buttons, make sure it is responding. So if I click right here, the first one says select design. We click it. It did move. You can go back to the home. We're going to go to select hoop. There's the hoops that we're using. Go home. Also on the display, you're going to have a light off button. When you click it, it's going to say light on. You're looking for the lights underneath this strip right here. So by you clicking it, you're going to see they turn on, and you can see that my hand lights up, and if I turn them off, they're going to go off. So you just want to make sure the amount of heads that you have, that all of them are working. That's it for now for the display. I just wanted to show you guys what to look for whenever you turn this on. Whether you're using this machine or you're using the MT1501 like this, you also want to just make sure everything that you got on here, whenever you touch it, it is responding. You want to make sure there's no cracks or anything in there. So double check whatever machine that you're using, that everything is working on the machine. Right here you have your bobbin case. Inside here they're going to put a sponge in there just to keep it from drying up. I told you guys earlier in the video when I showed you that bag with 3 bobbin cases that those are extra ones. They're not. They actually go inside here. So do not use the machine. Like I said, wait for your tech to come. He'll set this up if you've never set up a bobbin before. So that's where the bobbin's going to go, inside this case. So make sure you got 3 of them, because if you don't have them and they come set up your training, then you're not going to be able to embroider because you have no bobbin cases. So make sure, most importantly, that you have those bobbin cases. All right, so the next thing I want to show you is the lights that go across here. This is going to tell you if you're good to go or you're not good to go. So as long as all 3 lights are green, you're good to go. If for some reason you get your machine and the light's not on, do not freak out. Why are these lights on and this one's not on? Do not freak out. There's 3 positions to this switch. There's a switch right here. There's 3 positions to it. So you have to make sure to get that green button, that green light, that it's set to the middle position. So if your machine is not showing green, check your switch and make sure it's in the middle. If it's not, move it to the middle, and then they'll turn green. Like I said, you have 3 positions. You have the middle position, you have a top position, and a down position. So if it's down, it's going to be off, telling the machine that you don't want this head to run. So if I turn this one and this off, and I were to hit start right now, only head number 3 is going to start to embroider. So make sure that they are all on. So, but you want to make sure that when you push it down, there's no light. When you put it to the middle, you got the green, and then if you push it up, you should see red. Whenever you put it up to red, it should automatically bounce back down to the middle. So if you can see this, we're going to turn this, we're going to put it back here. But whenever I push it up, whenever I let it go, it should bounce right back to the center. So if you saw that, hopefully you guys saw that. I won't know until I edit this video, but if you saw that, you're going to see it goes up, and when you release it, it goes back to the center. If you want to get back to the green, you can simply push it up and it'll go back to the green. All right, so that's it. That's what comes along with unboxing the Marquee 2003. As you guys saw, this thing fit through a standard door, and we had those racks in there, which was probably like 3 inches out. So it fit through the standard door with no issues at all. So if you guys have any questions about this machine or any of the other machines, feel free to leave a comment down below, and I will help you in any way that I can. One of the other things I want to cover with you is whenever you purchase a machine from Ricoma, they're going to send you a link to a portal. In that portal is going to have all your online training that you have to do. And you cannot get scheduled for your training if you do not do that online training first. You have to make sure that you watch those videos, and at the end of the video, you're going to have like a 3-question test on that video. It's not hard. It's a lot of common sense stuff. They just want to make sure that you're watching it so that whenever it comes to this, you at least have some type of knowledge whenever it comes to using the machine. So make sure that you go into your portal and you do those online training before you get the machine and you set it up and you're like, okay, I'm ready, because they won't do it until you do that first. Another thing that a lot of people have told me is they cannot get into the portal, and in the beginning I had the same issue, was where I would try to get into the portal and it wouldn't let me in there. And the issue was, if you're auto saving your name and your password in the website, for some reason whenever you go and you try to click login, it's not letting you log in. So you have to completely log out of it and then type in your name and your password to log back in. That was the issue that I was having, and a lot of people have been having before. I don't know if they fixed it since then, but if you're having that issue logging into your portal, make sure you sign out of it, type it in, and then log back in, and then you won't have that issue. For someone that has purchased any of the machines from Ricoma, you also have access to a bunch of videos of classes that they've done in the past. So make sure you sign out and then you actually type your username and password in there so you can have full access to it. All right, so that's it. I just want to take you guys through the process of unboxing this thing. As you guys know, if you followed me before, not only do I have the 3-head, I also have 2 single heads, and I have the 6-head back in the back. So a lot of people always ask me, does Ricoma have the best machine? And I just tell people, like, I can only speak on what I've used, and this is what I've used from the beginning, and since I've used it, I haven't looked back. So for me, my personal opinion, it is the best machine that is out there. Other people might not agree with me, but I could just tell you from my personal experience that this is the best machine out there. So people that use other machines will say no, that their machine is the best. Again, that's their personal opinion because that's the machine that they're using. So if you are interested in getting into embroidery, I'm not just speaking as a affiliate for Ricoma. I'm speaking as a small business owner who started in the printing business knowing nothing about embroidery and getting my first MT1501 to having to upgrade to the 6-head, purchasing another single head, and now upgrading to another 3-head to speed up production as we go. So if you've made it to this point in the video, maybe you're interested in getting into embroidery. There's a special link down below for my viewers and my subscribers. By you guys clicking that link, it's going to save you up to $250 on an embroidery machine. So I'm not telling you this as an affiliate for Ricoma. I'm telling you this as a small business owner or someone who's looking to get into this. Embroidery is a game changer. Embroidery is something that a lot of shops don't do because they don't want to spend the money on the equipment and then have to spend the time training someone or training themselves how to use it. But if you offer embroidery in your shop and a client comes in for embroidery and they're getting screen printing done somewhere else, they might just say, you know what, I could just get it all done here in one place. I do a lot of screen printing and embroidery for same client. So I'm just letting you know how it has worked out for me. All right, so that's it. I'm excited to get this thing going. My employees are like, yep, let's get it going, because now they can speed up production and get stuff done, and then they're probably just going to try to chill, but it's not going to happen. But they're excited to get this thing going. We're all excited. But I just want to say thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you guys for all the support, and until next time, keep pressing.